Cincinnati Bengals for a long time had to travel down to the University of Cincinnati to practice in their bubble. So they were in the Super Bowl. They were going to play in the Super Bowl against the Los Angeles Rams. Won the AFC. Improbable win with Joey Burrow being a dog. It snowed so bad they didn't have an indoor facility. They had to travel to the University of Cincinnati down the street to prepare for the Super Bowl, to play the biggest game that you could potentially be in because they didn't have anything. They have since put up a bubble, so they have an indoor facility.
Okay.
New people in charge. They've obviously paid Jamar Chase. They've paid D. Higgins. They've paid Joey Burrow. They have a team that's ready to go. Now we're learning about the Shamar Stewart situation where they're putting a clause into the contract that nobody else has. We talked about this yesterday because Florio has reported the inside look at why Shamar Stewart hasn't signed with the Cincinnati Bengals fans. And we just read this, talked about it, talked about how ridiculous it was. Cincinnati Bengals fans are not happy with us talking about this.
Oh, what else is new?
They're not happy with us talking about this at all. They're saying that we are a part of the problem, that we are the ones that are just blindly following. I believe I was called a bootlicker by some of these Bengals fans.
Come on.
And I'm like, what are you doing supporting a team that didn't even have an indoor facility when your team was in the Super Bowl and now trying to wedge a clause in that nobody else does? And also a Trey Hendrickson situation. Now, they clearly point out TJ Watt's not at minicamp. Are you going to talk about that? We have.
Yep.
But Trey Hendrickson has come out publicly and said, hey, let's get this sorted. The Bengals are right back into a Bengals situation. I feel like Duke and them will be able to figure it out, especially with this new Bengals feel. But it's wild that they seemingly go through the stuff that nobody else goes through.
Also, TJ's going to get paid, okay? It feels like Trey may not get paid. Our owner, the Steelers owner, didn't come out and say, TJ should be happy with what he's getting paid right now. The Bengals, they did do that. And it's not like this is a one-off with Trey and with Shamar Stewart. This has been a long, long time. Remember, they were charging $700 for the watch parties and stuff like that. You talked about the indoor facility. But this is not a one-off for the Bengals. It's not like we're making shit up and, they've been this first-class organization for the longest of times. So the Bengals fans are the worst. We've said that many times. They're the worst fans in the NFL. I think we can agree with that.
It's coming from a Steelers fan.
That guy in the Bengals jersey gave me a thumbs up. He's like, you're right. So, this is classic.
I think you're a good fan. Well, now with that being said, it does feel like your fans.
They get disrespected the easiest.
The softest.
Yeah. I don't want to say the softest either because they're Ohio, so I don't want to say they're soft, but they do feel personally offended a lot for things that they shouldn't be offended by. They should be asking the same questions we are of their ownership, but I think they feel a loyalty to ownership to fight, and they do for a lot of things that they should not be fighting for, I think, personally.
It's also not their fault.
Like not having an indoor facility. We were getting attacked for mentioning that. It's like, you should not be attacking us. We are trying to make your team better here. Every other team in a four-season climate has an indoor facility in 2020, 2021. So, you guys not having it, you shouldn't be attacking us for pointing this out. You should actually be wondering why your team that you care so much about is doing things at that level. That's how I feel. But some Bengals fans are like, nah, there's no reason to attack us. Shamar Stewart's lucky to be a Bengal. He should want that clause in there. And if he can't play, he shouldn't be paid. It's like, well, nobody else is doing that. Well, that's because the Bengals are smarter than everybody. It's like, that's not how it works.
This is a perfect example of them bringing it on themselves as an organization. You talk about the Shamar Stewart situation. This is something we all know is going to get figured out, but it's not like they're debating between or negotiating between $5 or $10 million a year on a contract. This is something going into a rookie contract, and you're trying to put a brand new clause in this guy's contract that you've never done with anyone else before. And then if you look at this prospect specifically, off the charts talent-wise, but didn't have a ton of production in college. You draft him in the first round. So this is a guy that needs every rep he can get in the offseason, and you're going back and forth about something that's going to get figured out. The TJ Watt situation, we see this type of situation in the NFL, in the NBA probably every year when it comes to trying to reset that market or get up to a number that has reset the market. So that'll get done, I think, as well. But this Shamar Stewart situation is just another thing in a long line of bungled mishaps.
Whoa.
By the way, the last time TJ sat out mandatory minicamp, he kicked the door down to get his deal done, and then he set the record for most sacks in the season.
Oh! So you should do it again.
Look for that.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, quarterback too?
4-time MVP, Aaron Rodgers.
5-time.